Welcome to Between Builds, the space where we talk about everything that's messy and in the middle. And I am joined today by Liang Zhao, a powerhouse in the fintech PR industry and CEO, founder of Vansary, an amazing PR firm. And we're going to talk about jammies and robes and being moms and boardrooms and all that stuff that you juggle and I juggle. And we're going to drink some goodness in a cup.
Yes.
Yes,
we are.
And we're going to laugh a lot. Like, this is Trash Moms episode 1.
There's going to be more.
There's totally going to be more.
There's going to be more.
Because as soon as we put this out, a bunch of women are going to be like, please sign me up for that.
Yes. I get to talk about work, life,
Together.
everything in jammies.
Yeah. Without compartmentalizing.
Yeah. Does that exist?
Like, we can bounce back and forth. We don't have to have like pre-talk about kids, and then we're going to get into business. We're going to make it messy because it is. Like, what's your weirdest like mom founder moment? Like when the two worlds kind of clash together and you're like, you're trying to compartmentalize, but you maybe didn't too well.
Tiffany, you're kicking off with a really, really loaded question here.
I know. Well, like, it's real.
It's real. Okay, let's get straight into it. My worst, but maybe the best moment, and it stayed with me, and sometimes keeps me up at night. I actually think about it as like a very notable point in my life. It was actually day 2 after having my daughter. I was in the postpartum ward.
At the hospital.
We delivered at 8:30 on a Monday. We were in the postpartum ward afterwards. And it was day 2. We stayed at the hospital for 2 days. You know, we had our newborn. You know, she was beautiful, healthy. Everything was great. I had a potential new business call on the calendar. And my client was so nice. And she was like, are you sure you want to take this introduction? I was like, yeah, I should be good. Worst case scenario, like I'll cancel and we'll reschedule. Mm-hmm. And then that day I woke up, I was like, I'm feeling pretty good. So like, let me like get myself together. Yes, post-birth. Day 2. And so I got my face put together. Okay. Like I packed my overnight bag. Mm-hmm. I thought the makeup was going to be for like the postpartum photo, which I kind of like reneged, like literally the minute I had her. I was like, forget about it. Forget this. This is as good as I'm gonna get. Mm-hmm. This is it.
Yes.
I'll show you after.
Yeah, right. More to come.
Right.
But not like this.
Yeah. But like today I showered. I was like, my hair looks beautiful. It's shiny. You know, it was still like pregnancy hair then. Yeah, it's good.
It's good stuff.
It's good. It's bad
when it falls out, but it's good when it's good. Yeah.
It's so good when it's good. So like my hair was beautiful. My face was beautiful, but I was in my postpartum robe in the bathroom just to paint the picture because the ring light was really good actually in the bathroom. And my husband is like, excuse me, like you're about to take a call. I was like, yeah, it's fine. Like just like hold her. It's fine. Like give her a binky and if she cries, but like hold her. Like just hold her and hang out.
Yeah.
And so I got on the call. Everybody else was on video. I was like, sorry, like I'm just not going to be able to be on video today. And then we had a 30-minute call. And like the entire time, I'm just like a ball of anxiety inside thinking like my daughter's going to cry. My daughter's going to cry and it's going to be so embarrassing. Mm-hmm. But like now, 4 years later, since like Olivia just turned 4, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, should I have done that call? Should I have just like taken the moment? Should I have left my computer at home?
Yeah.
But you know, like later on, we did win that deal. They became a client.
And,
like it all paid off in the long run. But in the moment, it was just like, what am I doing? Like, is there a separation at all? Oh, not to mention it was COVID. Right. So it was like 2021. Oh my gosh. It was August 2021. It was COVID. We couldn't let people, of course, in. There were no additional parents, no support, no one else at the hospital but the 2 of us.
Wow.
And that really was like my first taste of like just the messiness of like mom life plus business owner life, where it's like a systemic issue that a lot of women like face, where 100%. Like if you're a small business owner, if you're a solopreneur, or if like you're working a blue collar job, like you don't have access to health insurance or pay leave. And luckily, like I have great insurance through my husband's work, but like you know, that was really like my first taste of what it actually
Yeah.
means to be on my own.
Right. Did you have that moment where you're like, okay, this is going to be it? Like, it's going to be a blend and a give and a take. And like, am I going to take this phone call, or am I going to go to this birthday party drop off or whatever? Like, do you still process that today? Is it always in the back of your brain of like,
Always,
yeah,
constantly.
yeah,
And I would say that over the past 4 years for me, like it's something, it's a muscle that I've
Mhm.
now like trained, where my decision-making time is shorter and shorter.
Mm-hmm.
And I've figured out how to kind of think about like, what's the pros and the cons of going to a birthday party or staying home and letting my husband take care of this whole thing. Or it's the opposite. Like when he's going on a business trip and I'm home, like, is that okay? Like, is this the right balance in our family? I mean, I feel like that's the same for you too.
Yeah.
Like you have more kids than I do,
Right.
to say the least.
Yes.
And you've built and overseen like bigger teams. And so like, what about you? Like, how did you think about that?
I remember when I was younger, and I'd have to pull it up, like I posted it. I wrote kind of this open letter to my boys. So this was before I had our youngest daughter who we adopted. And I talked a little bit about that of like, hey, to my boys at the time, like, I'm not going to make it to every game, like, but I'm also not going to make it to every meeting, right? So I'm going to make choices. But we have a community of people, like we have an amazing support system, like grandparents and aunts and uncles and just great friends and like a great school community. And so I kind of wanted them to see like, yes, I want to be there, but no, I can't always be there. But that doesn't mean you're by yourself. Like we can't rely on one, you know, you can't just rely on your mom or your dad, right? Like
No.
you've got to build your own community, and you've got to see and accept that community as support. And so I have had that conversation, and I still have it like with myself as well. Like I think what got better over the years is I used to just like react like, oh, someone needs me at work or needs me for this meeting or needs me to travel, right? And it was more of like a reaction, which we'll talk about my performance recovery issue that I have in another episode. But like, I think over the years, I got better of like not reacting to like, oh, yes, I'll go do that. But now I'm just responding, kind of like you said, like, let me weigh the pros and cons of that and make sure I'm really thinking through it and not like reacting to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what I heard you say was, one, a support network is hugely beneficial
Absolutely.
and integral to you being able to do and juggle everything.
Yeah.
But also, like, you've also honed like your muscle around like being able to make that decision and the pros and cons and doing that trade-off and figuring out what does that scale look like.
Right. Yeah.
Has it ever tipped?
Like tipped more to which side?
Either way, flipped the heck over.
Absolutely. I mean, when I left Jack Henry, a publicly traded company, and went to like a younger bootstrapped fintech, the scale stepped and came to New York and like all the things, right? It did totally like flip on its head for a season. And that was really intense and really hard. And now it's flipped back, right? Like we've sold, we're post-transaction, new CEOs onboarded, and I'm in between builds, right? Which is the whole purpose of like having these conversations of the messy middle, because it is kind of like awkward. And what do you do when it flips over to the other side? And you're like, it's kind of, you're like, oh, like my old routines and my old structures, like don't serve me anymore or aren't useful anymore or aren't needed anymore. Like, where does that leave me? And like, how do I navigate? Right. Cause it's different. And so I think it's just like a great dialogue to have. So like, I would ask you, like, when you kind of came out of like postpartum, or like, what was it like? Like, I always felt awkward, like going to an event or like getting ready for something other than being at home. Like, what does trash moms mean to you? Because there's like significance in this.
Okay, so after she was born, like outside, so like I very quickly got back to work and was trying to balance a life of like putting in like 5 to 6 hours of work a day. Also, you know, taking care of Olivia. I was breastfeeding and like pumping. Actually, like I got so efficient at pumping.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. I was like, I could feed her and pump in under 20 minutes.
That's amazing.
And it was like 4 to 5 times a day. It was like right on schedule.
Right.
And it was beautiful. But like my anxiety, I always noticed it. It come up. And it was always around like when we had a transition, when something would change with her, when like her routine would change for the good or the worse. And every single time that changed, I was like, oh my God, like how am I going to handle this?
Yeah.
And how does this then like ripple through the rest of my life? How does this ripple through my day? Am I going to have to make decisions and let other people know that things are about to change?
Right.
And I would say that that's also a muscle that's very much been strengthened over time, where it's like, okay, it is what it is. Things will come as they come, and know that change is constant.
Yeah.
And I would say that like early in the days, like it was hard. It was really, really hard to be able to foresee that. But I also had the benefit of COVID. It was honestly, COVID was like a great time to have a kid.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that.
It was great.
Like, except for a good time to have a kid, maybe not a good time to have kids at home.
Yes. Yes.
Because that was my stressor. I was like, can everybody please leave so I can work? Because I worked at home when I wasn't like physically at work or traveling.
You had a very different experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
COVID allowed me to have my daughter to wrap up a co-op renovation in Brooklyn and then also still continue working. And that was honestly, it was a luxury. And like my first event that I ever went to out of COVID, out of like, I would say an elongated postpartum, was Money 2020.
Postpartum. I love it. It makes it sound so like warm and inviting.
Yeah.
It's like my longer sabbatical.
Exactly. Let's just like shift the narrative, right? It's what I'm in the business of.
Love it. Go. Money 2020.
It was Money 2020.
Jeez.
I was like selected to speak on stage. That was my first event out of COVID and out of postpartum.
Oh my gosh.
She was 14 months old.
Okay.
And like it was my first time truly like getting back into it. And before that, it had been like, 3 years, almost like 3 years, like since I last literally went to a networking event. And like
I'm laughing because like if you've never been to Money 2020, it's like, I don't know, the sea of humanity for one. Like so intense.
13,000 attendees.
Yeah. All crawling everywhere. Yeah, it's always a very intense, overwhelming, like never sleep event
in Vegas. During COVID.
My gosh.
Yeah, so that was my first event, and just like the amount of anxiety, the level of anxiety was incredibly high. It was like my first time away from baby.
Ooh.
And like, oh my God, like, aside from like usual like new mom jitters of traveling, there was also the COVID jitters. There was also like the new speaker jitters. Like that was my first time speaking on a stage too. And it was such a blessing to have been selected.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about a topic that was and it is still incredibly near and dear to my heart, which is like how little amount of Asian women are in the top 1% of leaders in the United States.
Right.
And at that point, like Asian hate was rampant. And like the number of attacks against Asian Americans, especially the elderly, was great. And like Asian women are amongst one of the two groups of folks in any sort of organization to get the least amount of attention and upward mobility. And it's not to say that people aren't amazing or that there's not enough of them entering the workforce. Quite the contrary. Like there's equal amount of Asian women entering the workplace, but their ability to actually like enter into leadership roles, get titles that start with the C, it's incredibly low. So it was like the first time I got to go on stage to specifically talk about this and bring awareness to it to the fintech community. And of course, like that was also the first time that like I'm away from my child.
Right. You
I
have all
remember
this internal,
so
like,
much.
you got to be in your head a lot.
It was a lot. And
you had to pick out clothes.
oh God, don't get me started.
Like, what do you wear?
I'm traumatized. I'm still traumatized.
Yeah.
Pants.
Pants.
That's it. Trigger words.
Undergarments.
God.
No. I feel you on
Pants.
that. Pants. Gotta wear pants.
Oh, the perpetual turmoil of pants.
Mental gymnastics.
Yes. Okay. Let's talk about pants.
Let's talk about pants.
We gotta talk about pants.
And PJs.
Well, let's talk about pants.
Okay.
So, like,
not yoga pants.
No, not yoga pants. Let's talk about work pants.
Work pants.
How many sizes of pants do you own?
I mean, okay. I'm really like, I try to stick with one size, like, and the kind that like doesn't stretch, because then that gives me the indication that like, oh, like the ones I wore today, I'm like, I haven't worn in a while. And I'm like, little snug in the bootay, you know, like need to make some life adjustments, right? Like, so I really only have one size of pants.
I think I have 6.
Okay. There's strategies to that.
Yeah.
Like, but I gave away all my maternity clothes just for clarity purposes. That's good. I am absolutely done.
That's good. I think I have pants ranging from size 2 to 10. Depending on the season, depending on the day.
Right.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
I'm like, I need to work towards like where you are.
Right.
One size.
Yeah. I get it. But my strategy is like purposeful on that. Like non-flex pants.
Right.
Jeans.
That's your benchmark. It's
my benchmark. Yeah. Like if I can't get into these pants, I'm going back to Pilates 3 times a week instead of just once.
Well, so you asked me what does trash moms mean to me.
So it's size 2 through 10.
Size 2 through 10
in my wardrobe.
Yeah, exactly. This got brought up, and like, we were chatting about this before, but this got brought up because like my mother-in-law and she's a huge Beyonce fan. So I have the great pleasure of seeing Beyonce with her. Oh, she's wonderful. And so I have the benefit of going to Beyonce with her.
Okay.
And this got brought up because this past May, her new cowboy Carter, like, and I love the cowboy vibe. Yeah. I grew up in New Mexico.
There you go.
Cowboy hats, denim, leather, fringe, boots, you name it. Like,
get it.
Southern style, Southwestern style belts, bolo ties. I have it all. I'm ready.
Wow.
I'm ready.
I want a picture. Keep going.
Oh. And so I dressed up for the day. It was like a cute sequin jacket with like short skirt, brown boots, and a cowboy hat. I was ready. And so my mother-in-law, she sees me and she like, her eyes just kind of like open up and she's like, oh my God, I haven't seen you out of PJs and sweats in 5 years. And at this moment, I was like, thank you
for not having your filter on.
Yes, but it was also like, oh my God, like that's such a compliment. But at the same time, like the subtext is like,
subtext, yes.
it's like you haven't looked.
Maybe you should
maybe try
step it up.
Notch. Exactly. And like it brought up so much for me because like, does this mean that I'm officially out of trash mom season?
Yeah.
Like, does that what that meant?
You're becoming.
Right. Exactly. I'm like a butterfly that's emerged from my cocoon.
Right.
But then it like brought, of course, like I thought about it and thought about my past 4 years in the season. Of course, I can't help think about also my mom. And like my mom had my sister when I was 12 and then my brother when I was 17. So I was like very aware of like her as a woman, as a person, and how she showed up in life. And like, I'm thinking back to her like postpartum season, and she was like wearing these like baggy dresses that she got from the secondhand store. And they were like truly like Amish dresses. Like we're talking about like the mixed media. Like we're talking about like a denim and like a fall flat floral
Was
print
she buying
situation.
those for you as well?
No. It was
there
just
for
her.
just her.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was just her. And like it was the only type of dress that she felt comfortable,
Okay.
that she wanted to wear. And it always was like 3 to 4 years until she decided to come out of that season.
Okay.
And at the time I was like embarrassed. I'm like, oh my God, like my mom has no style. Like
Right.
she has no idea what she's doing. Like she can't dress herself. But now it's like having gone through it, I'm like, this is the last thing that you care about, or I cared about.
Right.
Like, you know, my shirts are disgusting. Like I have my home clothes and like
your home clothes.
Yeah, I have my home clothes that literally never sees the light of day. And they're like spit up, they're stained, they got food marks, you name it, whatever it is that just comes with like the messiness of home life now. And then I have like a closet full of like work clothes for events, for whatever it is. But even that, like I've had to like redo.
Right.
And for me, like clothes has always been a point of like celebration, of expression.
Yeah.
And so it's like my husband knows when I'm stressed, because if I get a lot of packages, like he knows I'm stressed.
Yeah. The flow is picked up.
Yes, exactly.
What's going on here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
And like that single comment from my mother-in-law like inspired this like reflection in this moment.
Yeah.
And to think about like, what did life look like the past 4 years? And like, what was that messiness? And how did I show up? And now kind of looking back, like, to be honest, I don't know if I'm out of my trash mom season. I don't know if I want to be anymore.
Right. That's fair.
Because like, I've learned so much.
How does that like go up against an industry that you're in? Like the PR industry is very like put together, like very perfect.
All about optics.
Yeah. What is like
all about optics.
I feel like those, like the story you told and then the industry that you're in, like don't quite reconcile. And maybe they shouldn't, but like how do you get through that? Like how do you put that all together to make it fit for you?
So I love that question, because it's actually a question that this is a topic that actually brought me a lot of insecurity when I was like earlier in my PR career. My background's not in PR. It was truly like financial services. It was relationship management. It was sales. I like worked with asset managers, hedge funds, banks, insurance companies on credit research and economic models. And then also like, you know, do the folks in risk have enough data, and are they ready to run like stress testing for their portfolios? Like that was my world before entering PR. Okay. And that world was like very buttoned up. It was suits all day, every day. Yeah. It was like you show up at a certain time, and if you're on time, you're late. And you have strictly 30 minutes. It's all business. Like the most like unprofessional part of the conversation was talking about weather, or like where folks go for summer vacation. Is it down the shore or is it up at the Cape? Embrace the messiness and like the realities of it all, and like can accept that like there's true human stories here that we're trying to tell. And so I'm just incredibly lucky. And I would say that like in the earlier days, it was hard because I was like trying to go after the clients, the stories that looked perfect. But now it's like I've actually very much embraced it. Like this is who I am. Right. Like, and I'm going to show up authentically as who I am. Right. And because of the messiness at home, it's truly forced me to just be like, I'm going to be who I am and how I show up. And I've been very lucky to find clients that are okay with that. Yeah. And also are willing to work with me.
That's so beautiful and so human. And I think that's why, like, when I work with you, like professionally outside of podcasts and things, like you just have this way of bringing like beauty out from these really like chaotic stories, because, you know, startup, founder mode, like all of those things they are super messy, but it doesn't mean like we don't have clarity or we don't know who we are. Like sometimes we just need people like you to ask us tough questions about like what's the main thing you want to communicate and who are you? And you just have such an ability to do that. So I can totally see like and you talking about just like the chaotic backstory, like the trash mom story, and how you leverage that like in your work, right? Like it's just part of who you are, but it sounds like it's really taught you things, and you've used it not as like, oh my gosh, I've got this part of my life and I've got this part of my life, and none the two shall meet, right? But you've worked at integrating and learning from both sides.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't consider myself to be a good communicator, like, at least when I was younger.
Okay.
And my job in communications and PR has very much taught me that. It's taught me setting expectations. It's taught me like how to be truthful. It's taught me how to read people and to figure out like, and to truly just like understand like who's the audience and how do I better speak to them? What do I think they will hear? And that is a skill that has greatly translated into my personal life. And from my personal life, it's very much like having grace, empathy, knowing that everything is either a moment or a season, and it's the good and the bad. It's all going to change.
Right.
And that I'm able to bring into work now. And it's something that I've learned because like I've had Olivia. I also know that it's like you really can't, like you don't have enough time nor mental bandwidth to really like let things fester or to overthink things. You just don't have time.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there anything, I love that response. Like, is there anything outside of work that brings you joy right now that you just like, we've talked about work, we've talked about, you know, becoming the butterfly a little bit out of our pajama cocoon that we so love, but like, what else kind of brings you joy, brings you passion in life?
I love cooking and feeding people.
Oh, okay. Like hospitality.
So you're going to have to come over to dinner.
100%. I hate cooking. Ask my husband.
I love it. Like, meal prepping on a weekend is actually incredibly meditative for me.
I love that.
And I think it's because like the work that I do is so digital, and like I don't always get to taste the fruits of my labor, so to speak. You know, win, like a Fast Company client win or like a 30 under 30, it's beautiful. Yeah. It's awesome. But it's like, I get to celebrate it. It's my team and my work, but I don't get to taste it, you know, so to speak. So
good.
Cooking is truly, it's a release. Right. It gives me a lot of joy.
It makes you slow down and just take out the moment.
Yes. And it also gives me 100% control.
Yeah. Also nice in life. Very hard to manufacture. Yes. I love that. Is there anything like what else about you as a person or something you want to say to other like trash moms? We use it so like tongue in cheek. We're not trying to be hurtful towards people, but like we kind of got to embrace where we're at in life. So any like encouragement or words of wisdom for the messy middle?
Go through it. Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah. Don't rush it.
Yes, that too.
Sometimes we rush through it.
Do you feel like you rushed?
100%. I think I'm learning that like as cliche as it is, like the journey is what counts. It's not so much what you do, but how you get that thing done that really matters. And so I think as I get older and wiser, I've learned like to embrace the tension more and to be more accepting of it, and not to like, we have so much like before and after, right? Like house flips and like any kind of like like you just want to get to the end so quickly because you want to know like it's going to be okay. That's the control piece of us. Like, I just want to know it's going to work out, and we don't know. And we don't know when we're in between builds, like even this podcast, right? Like, I'm just like, is anybody gonna listen or care about it? Or like, we'll get through it, but like, will anybody care?
Yeah.
And so you can let that stuff like get in your head, and then it holds you back. And so I've learned to just like lean into it. Like, it's an in-between season. I don't know how some of this stuff is going to turn out, and that's okay. And it's just like, what did I learn along the way versus like, what was the outcome? And that's just me speaking as like the recovering performance addict that I absolutely am. So
can you define that? Like, what does that mean? A recovering performance addict?
I think I just right? Like we get rewarded.
Yeah.
Like I took on big risks in my career, my entire career, like was risk after raising my hand, after doing the next thing, right? Like every 2 to 3 years, like it was another thing. And then you get rewarded and then you do another thing. You get like, hey, this is how it works, right? Like insert coin outcome that you want, right?
Yeah.
And so you just get trained to do that. And that's kind of why I said earlier, like there was the reaction side, and now I feel like there's more of a response side. Like I reacted because if I do this thing, I will get rewarded. And I don't just mean like monetarily, like, you know, whatever that thing was. And I had to really slow down and just have like reflective periods where I was like, okay, my worth and my value is not tied to my performance. Like it just gets to be who I am and my presence is enough. And I don't have to prove, and I don't have to like work so hard and earn everything, which you double down on as a woman. Like you know this, right? Like you have to work, you have to work much harder, and you can't make or afford the mistakes that other people get by with. So you have to be super careful. And like after years and years and years of that, like I've been in fintech for almost 25 years now, right? Like you just kind of fall into that trap, and it takes courage and power to really pull yourself out of it. So that's why I always say like I'm recovering. Like I still relapse. I still have falters. I still have reaction moments, but you learn over time, I think, as you look back, like to process things better and just with more, I don't know, wisdom and thought. And I think the community piece is huge as well, because they get to start speaking into like, what does the next thing need to look like, or could it look like, right? So yeah, that's what I mean by that.
That's deep.
Yeah, that's deep, right?
That's deep, because
that's something else in itself. But
I mean, I think it's so rare for somebody who's been at the top of their game to say like there's power in a pause, one. And then I also think that there's a lot of power in you saying like you've literally been the top of your game. You have always been asking like what's next for literally 25 years of your career. And also that literally is like I could just see you like walking the tightrope, really.
Yeah.
Like for 25 years.
Sure.
And like that rope gets like thinner and thinner because like the expectations get greater and greater.
Right.
And like your margin of error also gets thinner and thinner. And so like, how did you balance that?
I don't know. I wish I had a great answer for you.
But you just did it.
Yeah, you just really.
Did you think about it?
I did. I mean, I thought about like, my kind of mantra was like, I just need to do the next thing, like whatever the next thing is. And so that kind of helped me not get too far into the future. It also fed my like performance addiction, right? Like just do the next thing, right? But so I think there was like, let's just kind of do the next step of whatever that is, and not so much worry about it. But I think I also had a lot of like maybe intellectual humility or just naive, right? Like I really didn't know what I was doing 90% of the time. Right? I didn't really know how to do the thing that I raised my hand for. And so in that, I think there was just like the perpetual drive of like, I need to figure this out, right? Like I'll figure it out, right? I have all the strategies. So, I mean, I don't know how I did it other than like I relied a lot on other people to speak into my life and to guide me. And I always had great mentors, you know, people that came alongside me. You said the word season, like things are seasonal. Like I had great people in different seasons of life who just chose to kind of walk me through that next pathway or that next valley. And they just always came at the right moment. And so I attribute that, like, that wasn't me, right? Like, that wasn't me, like, forcing or designing things. So yeah, it just worked out. Like, I don't know, no playbook.
I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit.
I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't.
I don't think you give yourself enough credit here because you don't you can't as a woman especially you can't just fall upwards in your career.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm again I raised my hand a lot for stuff that was way outside maybe my capability at that time. So I took a ton of risk. There is no question. I took tons of risks.
And the other thing that in itself, I think, is incredibly rare to hear from a woman. I think statistically, not to say that there's not a lot of people out there, not a lot of women are not taking risks. They are. Just statistically, women are more risk averse is what the headlines say.
Yeah, I hear you. And I agree with that.
I think for you, what you're saying is you did take a lot of risks. You did raise your hand for a lot of things that folks you raised your hand for things that you weren't necessarily ready to tackle.
Totally.
You weren't afraid of what the outcome was going to be or going through it.
Yeah. Well, I think I was afraid of the outcome. I think it wasn't the absence of fear. I was terrified with I can't think of a single scenario where I wasn't completely scared. What am I doing? But I did it anyways, right?
How did you get comfortable with this fear?
I don't think I ever do. I don't think I am. I'm not comfortable even now, kind of doing this between builds thing. And that's okay. I think I hate it, but I'm more comfortable being uncomfortable. It's okay. You just it never feels good. It never feels like you're gonna necessarily win. You just have the hope that it's gonna the expectation of coming good. I don't know. You just do it and you'll if it falls out, it falls out, and that really sucks, but we'll grieve it and name it and move forward, I guess. That's all I know to do.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. I feel that was that lesson for me was something I learned after having Olivia. But it was just anything that was bad, it was just take a deep breath. That was a SHIT day.
That was real bad.
Yep. That was a real bad moment. But you know what? I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to wake up the next day and it's going to get better.
Yeah.
And so truly, for me, similar to you, it's just the faster I can learn to let the bad things happen, let the bad outcomes happen, and then pick myself up, figure out what I learned from it, and then move on as quickly as possible.
Right.
Is truly how I'm able to now have honestly a sense of peace and not be afraid of the next thing.
Yeah.
And I would say that without Olivia, I don't think I would have learned that as quickly. I'm Chinese. I'm a Chinese woman. We've been taught shame from day one.
Right.
Perfection and shame.
Perfection and shame, top of the list right there.
Exactly. I mastered it.
Yes. Yeah.
And motherhood and entrepreneurship is the exact opposite of that.
Right.
And it's honestly, I've learned so much over the past 4 years. And so it's we talk about being trash mom, but I feel trash mom really is actually more of a state of physical being rather than what's happening on the inside.
Yeah.
Because
totally.
Inside, it's I don't feel, I actually feel that I've never been more put together in my life.
I love that. That's fantastic. Thank you for coming.
For having
chatting. This is just good for the soul. Right?
Yeah.
Good for the soul. I love our friendship.
Yes,
I
me
appreciate
too.
You. Cheers.
Cheers.